Well, hello and welcome to the Bottom Line Me podcast. I'm your host, Ann Allard. Today, we're talking about the future of the title industry, and more importantly, who's going to be shaping it. Most of us didn't grow up dreaming of becoming title professionals. We either inherited the business or we stumbled into it by accident. My guests today are Amy Gregory and Andrea Summers, and they decided that relying on chance wasn't going to be good enough. They believe the next generation isn't going to find this industry by luck. We have to go find them. And that's exactly what they've been doing. Several years ago, they launched an initiative that was focused on reaching young people, especially Gen Z, and showing them that the title industry offers real opportunity, real stability, and real career paths. They've been in classrooms talking with high school students, digging into what Gen Z values, and helping title companies rethink how they attract talent. So it is with great pleasure that I welcome you, Andrea, Amy. Thank you so much for spending some time with me.
Thank you, and good morning, Ann.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us, and we're happy to be here.
Well, I'm really excited to have this conversation and to share what you're doing with our audience. But before we dive into our topic, I'd like to give you both a moment to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you are, anything you want to share.
Okay, so we'll keep it work related, I guess. We won't talk about the shopping that we do on the weekend or the concerts or anything like that. We'll just keep it work related. So I'm Amy Gregory. I actually started in the title industry as a high school student. So we'll share a little bit more about that in our stories today. But I got into the title business just answering the phones and having a business job. And then I really fell in love after about a year and a half in the title business. And we really wanted to know more and more and more. So I was blessed with amazing mentors along the way that I did every step of the title process from the beginning to the post-closing, to the processing, to the closing, and then into management. And I went through a small company, kind of grew there. Then I went to a corporate company and I grew there, but I realized I wanted something in between. And I was blessed to land at the Florida Agency Network 19 years ago. Started when we had 2 locations. We actually started the second location together, the owner and I. And then we've grown just by leaps and bounds and just amazing paths along the way with so many people that have joined us and in what we've created today.
Awesome. I can hear the passion in your voice. You either get bit by this bug or you run for the door quickly, I guess.
So true. And we haven't found a cure for the bite yet, so I'm still there. I'm still there.
The cure is to stay. That's
There
it.
you go.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, Andrea, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Andrea Summers. I am the operations manager of our company's ancillary division, which is called Network Transaction Solutions. I started in the industry back in 2001. I was very early 20s. And, back then I was searching the classified ads in the newspaper looking for a job and saw an office position, didn't really know what it was. And it turned out to be a title company. They turned out to hire me. So, I started in an entry-level position. I wasn't really quite sure what this business was and really why I was doing the work they gave me. But, I asked a lot of questions. When I finished my work, I would ask where I could help more. Is there any other project I could work on? And from there, I learned more and more. I might one day be in post-closing department helping them out. Another day I might be in the title department doing a project over there. And it really just started to click all of these pieces of the process and what we were really doing. And I fell in love with it. I found a passion in it. I love to say that title found me. I stayed at my first title company for 9 years. The crash happened and I was offered a position at an REO title company and law firm to run their closing division. So I took that and wow, I learned a lot in the REO space.
Yeah.
here I thought I have 9 years in title and I really know what I'm doing. And it was a whole other world. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. I learned so much. And so I spent 5 years in the REO space and then landed at Florida Agency Network 11 years ago due to a chance meeting with our CEO on an airplane. So it was obviously a great conversation we had on that flight, and I loved everything Florida Agency Network was doing and had to be a part of the team. I got to meet Amy shortly afterwards. We had an amazing conversation and really clicked, and I knew I had found my people. So here I am, and I have never looked back. I absolutely love the title industry, and I love that we learn something new every day. And now there is this new passion of showing other generations who may have never heard of this industry what we're all about.
Exactly. Or aren't sitting on a plane next to somebody that can influence where they go next, huh? That's awesome. Awesome. Wow. Wealth of knowledge here and experience from both of you. So, let's get into it now and start at the beginning. I know that you're both putting a lot of energy into reaching the next generation or the young people. And so that's where I thought we should start. What sparked this idea, first of all?
Okay, so I think it started because of where we both started in this industry, and really, for a long time, I felt like we were getting great talent in the industry, and really, people did want to know more. Maybe they heard from their realtor, maybe their mom or dad were in the industry, but then we really kind of hit a peak that didn't happen anymore after kind of the fall and the early 2008, 2009 into those first couple years. And Andrea and I really just started to think like, what are we going to do? We've got to keep feeling this. And then as Network Transaction Solutions or NTS grew, we needed to fill more than just a receptionist job. So just one entry level position in each office was one thing. But when we have 12 entry level positions within different departments, we really thought we've got to get creative. So our first dabble in this was the Great American Teach-In. And what we've learned is this is really popular in some parts of Florida, but not in a lot of states. Then it really gives you an opportunity to expose your industry to the high school students. And that's with many industries, not just real estate, not just title. That's with many industries. And that's really kind of how we started dabbling into this industry or into this opportunity to really attract. And when you see their eyes light up, like, I don't have to go to college to do what you do. And then when they heard our story that we started in an entry level position, but this is where we are 20 years, 25 years, 30 years later, the opportunity of hope was apparent on their face. Like, wait, I can do this. Maybe I don't have a desire for college, or maybe my family can't afford to support me through college, or whatever or I don't really know even what I want to do. So like I can start somewhere and then I can make a plan from there. So that attraction really, I think, was almost accidental for Andrea and I, because we didn't go out and say, oh, here's where we're going to go. But it was like, we kept coming back to it because we saw the passion, we saw the people, we saw the talent. And then as they started to work with us, it was like, wait, they want something, they're desiring something, they're hungry for something. This may be something.
Interesting. So I know that your focus is high school students. Why did you choose to start at that level?
Yeah, I think there were points where we did sort of try to tap into maybe students in college, but what we were finding is they were already on a path. Yeah. And when we did this Great American Teach-In in the high schools, that's when we realized we're on to something. So many of these high schools are full of these curious, smart students, but they're being pushed into these traditional career paths, whether it's nursing or college or going to college, going to nursing, maybe IT, etc. And we knew, okay, we've got an industry here where they don't necessarily need college. And that's the students we started to talk to were the ones that weren't really sure what they wanted to do. Maybe college wasn't in in the lines for them or in the stars for them. And that's when we knew we were onto something. Just connecting with these students, hearing the questions they would ask, and just seeing their interest. And really, the thing is they wouldn't be aware of this industry unless we brought awareness to it. So that's really when we took this path a little more seriously and said, we're going to do this. We've got entry-level positions to fill, and there are amazing young men and women that we can tap into that would love these positions.
Wow. What a great idea. What a great idea. Now, I know you spent a lot of time doing some research on Gen Z. So talk a little bit about that. What did you learn about what they value in their work and their career? And did anything surprise you?
Absolutely. I mean, they are wise people. And I know that they're not always looked at that way by certain people because they do things different than the prior generations. I think that Andrea and I really grew an understanding and appreciation for that because they bring something to the table that we didn't, that the generation before us didn't, and the generation before that. One thing that was really hard to comprehend, and we studied and researched quite a bit, is their why. So their why is they want a mission. They want to know that what they're doing is for a purpose. But they also have went through their life seeing their parents and their grandparents that have dedicated everything to one industry and one job to maybe be in their 40s and their 50s, and they lose that job unexpectedly, not on their own terms, and they're lost. And their generation really, the side hustle kind of came into play because of that. And I respect that based on what they see. That was not how Andrea and I grew up. That's not what our focus was as we were building in our career. But I am so envious of their wisdom at such a young age that they saw that. And so it's not that they're not dedicated. They're dedicated to themselves first. They're going to take care of themselves. They're going to take care of their families. And then they're also going to take care of the company. But it's going to look a little bit different. So I think we had to change the landscape. Okay, like let's train our leaders on that. And let's embrace, let's also give back. Let's have a mission. Let's make our mission clear. Like I think the mission has been underlined, but underlying, I should say, but it's not always been so clear. And we've not always been so focused on what the mission is and really building their career paths and embracing what they know. Another thing that we've learned from them is they don't want a straight line. So in prior generations, we wanted to go from A to B to C to D to E. And we knew we had to have some rough times, maybe through B and C. We had a school of hard knocks. We had to do our duty to get through that. They don't feel the same way. I respect that. They want to work for a leader that's truly going to empower them, respect them. I mean, I definitely can name a couple leaders upon my path that I didn't respect, but I just kind of had to stay in it. And that was our generation and the prior generation. Their generation, no thanks. They will leave a job because of a leader before they'll leave a job because of the job.
Interesting.
And I think that we really respect that because we understand. When you understand the why behind it, it's not a disrespect. It's not, I'm making my own path because I'm just going to do that. There's a reason, there's a mission, and there's a why behind it. When you understand it, you really will respect it, and then you'll create the environment that complements all generations, including the newest.
That is amazing. The why is, I think, one of those things that perhaps it was very easily answered years ago, and I'm going to get a job. I'm going to raise a family. I'm going to have a paycheck, buy a house, all those simple things. But there's more to this this generation, which is awesome. So when you're talking to some of these students, what part of the industry makes them actually lean in, or is there a moment when they have that aha moment?
Well, one of the things we learned when we were studying Gen Z is they really crave purpose and impact. They want flexibility and work-life balance. They want growth potential. That is really big for this generation. They want a clear path to advancement. And then they're really looking for that sense of community and belonging, and then authenticity. And so, you look at those things, and all of those things are what we offer in our industry. There are clear paths for growth, which is probably, I would say, the number one important thing to Gen Z. But we do have that purpose and impact. They want work that matters, and that's what we are doing. That sense of community and belonging, getting to help these buyers and sellers, helping a new buyer purchase a home. Those things matter. And then I love the authenticity that our industry offers. We have so many unique personalities, and so that's the kind of thing that I think sparks them, and that's what we learned to really talk to them about. Advancement being something that we really talk about when we're meeting with these students, and that's where you see their eyes light up because they hear our stories, like Amy said. Not only that, but we bring other managers that we have talking about their stories. Almost every single one of us started at an entry-level position and had to work our way up. So you see them sort of picturing, okay, I can picture myself doing this. I could actually grow and be a manager, an operations manager, a president, a sales executive. So they start putting themselves into the stories that we tell, and that's when you see their eyes light up.
Well, yeah. And, I think when I heard you both speak at Alta, one of the aha moments that I had was, depending on, what your interest level is in a certain area, whether you want to be in the accounting side of things or the sales side of things, that the fact that you all put that together, it was an aha moment for me that I never really thought about it. There's so many different lanes open in this industry. So talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I think we're really, really blessed at FAN because of our size, because we have to have those different divisions. In a smaller title company, they're not as clearly defined, but I think what we miss is that someone can play a portion of a role. And so for us, with the high school students, we can offer them a behind the scenes position, and in front of the scenes position, a sales position. We have accounting and we have IT. So there's so many different avenues they can go, and then the different avenues within those. So we've had some of the students that have started at NCS that have an interest in accounting. So they still want to be behind the scenes, but they want to learn more on the numbers, and they want to take courses that will complement what they're going to do there. We've had some that are interested in IT. And when you understand the facets that title insurance does, then you go into IT. You're like a specialized IT person then. It's not just, you think about an IT person that comes in that has no idea what we do on the title insurance side, and then we call and it's the end of the month and we're freaking out. And they don't really understand why. I'm like, chill it. Just calm down. But when you understand that, and your IT company understands, don't do updates at the end of the month. I will come over and I will just shake you. Don't do that. But when they understand the different facets of it, it allows for that growth opportunity, but it's a flexible growth opportunity. So yes, knowing a career path, but knowing that we have some team members, they don't want to see clients. They don't even want to be in an office. They want to be remote. And so, we are able to attract that and to allow them to work in the capacity where they thrive.
Yeah.
Too, I think they kind of gave us that aha moment too. Just speaking with them about their goals, and one would say, "I'm really interested in computers. I want to work more with computers." And we were like, "Aha moment! We have an IT division. Wow, I can grow this and actually put them here or there." So a lot of it came from conversations about their goals and where they, what energizes them, what motivates them, and so it was an aha moment for me too, to realize, wow, we're not just offering paths, the traditional title path of receptionist to processor, closer. We have so much more to offer. Yeah, that's what this generation is really looking for.
Without a doubt. So I know that you both have brought in interns into your company. So let's talk a little bit about that for anybody that wants to start engaging with young talent. How do they go about it, and then how do you transition into an internship element?
So we haven't really done interns. So do you want me to speak to that though?
Sure.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we haven't really done like an internship where somebody just comes for a summer, really. We kind of dabbled, didn't really come to fruition. We like to have those purposeful interviews up front to know what their goals are, to know, if somebody says ultimately they want to be a mechanic, okay, our programs are not gonna, you're gonna be in an office, we're gonna drive you insane. It's not gonna work for you. So really what we've done is just start in different entry level positions. And because of our ancillary company with lien searches, post closing, some of those departments, we have that available for a team member to start. But the beauty of this and kind of leveling up is when our title office needs a CSR, customer service rep, they need a junior processor, we need a junior salesperson. We advertise those positions internally first. So somebody maybe that's done lien searches, maybe they've been in it for a year and a half, they've really done so well, they've wanted to be in the office, they've been interacting and really being a leader in their own right with their team, and then they want junior processing. We're like, yeah, I think they got the skill sets to at least interview for that position.
Yeah.
So this really has done such a great internal opportunity for us, not just for the team member, because we're pulling then from the team members that we have experience with. They've experienced the culture of the company. We know what their work is like. We know their work ethic. We know they're a team player, and allowing those opportunities. So we're not hiring from outside with those. We're really giving them an opportunity to advance. And for the company, that works well as well. So it's a win-win.
Too, that one of the things, they do really get a good picture of what this is. We were able to connect with an organization that is really focused on letting students who are coming up on graduation know what the different careers are available in their community. So we connected with this organization, and now every year, and this is for the last 8 years now, we have busloads of students come to our campus once a year. About 150 to 200 students will tour our campus. We'll take them into the lien search department, and they'll see other people doing lien searches and get to ask questions. What is this work about? What do you like about it? Those types of things. They'll go into one of our title companies and look at the conference room and see a closing happening. They see buyers and sellers at the table, and they're really seeing what the work is. So that's been helpful too, because then when they actually graduate and apply, they have a really good sense of what the environment is like, a sense of what we're doing. And so they're applying for that point for full-time positions. And at that point for us, we're looking for the right personalities. Experience doesn't really matter so much what jobs they had previously, but it's more about the personality. We're looking for these motivated, career-minded individuals who are positive, who are eager to learn, and those are the ones that really thrive.
Yeah. Let me add too, with the organization that Andrea is referring to, my favorite part of this organization, they show them how to write resumes. They show them how to interview. They do the exposure to the different companies locally so they can get an inside scoop on that. But if they get a job offer through this program, they do a signing day. So they, very much like a sports scholarship, they're on stage. They're signing for that job offer on the stage. They're being recognized. They're made to feel special because they completed this portion of that program that they've invested in and that people have invested in them. That excites me so much. I love that because it really is a launch for them, for their career and what's important for their next steps in life. And it's so cool. This organization has done such a great job, and we've been super blessed to be part of it and to see these students kind of grow and what they've been able to be afforded because people are taking that time. But it's a really cool organization.
Wow, that's great. All wonderful things, but now let's talk about the challenges or the obstacles, because I'm sure, there are those. So can you talk a little bit about what you faced and how someone that's listening to us today might be able to avoid some of these challenges that you both have lived through?
Yeah, and everything has went perfect. Like newly hired, they've been great. They're excelling at it. Yeah, so we definitely had challenges, and we learned from those. So we asked different questions. We do a little bit of a different training, but remembering they come with no career experience. So showing up to work on time may not be a given. We may have to have some of those elementary, I'd like to call, conversations in the career world. And so knowing that going in, but also making sure that you're having those conversations at the interview. And we've learned the best from what we've learned with this process. Also acknowledging that you may invest 2 years in someone and they change their mind. They're not yet set in their path. There's a lot of questions that they've been asking themselves and have been asked of them because their whole landscape of their life has changed from high school to getting on their own, or maybe they're still living with relatives or family or whatever that kind of looks like. So just going into it, not being disappointed by that, but having a mindset of, if we can help them on their career path, that's our goal. It's not a selfish ambition. It's really about the overall investment into them. But we've had to learn that because it is a little disappointing when you lose your first couple that they decide something. I don't know why they didn't fall in love or get bit by the bug.
Exactly.
But did it. So it doesn't mean they won't come back either. And maybe they need to explore life and where it's at that point too.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we actually had one student, she was with us for a couple of years and left us for about 5 and came back last year. She's like, okay, I learned some things on the other side. I loved what I was doing before, but I think she really needed to see and experience some other things to realize I was bitten by the bug and now I'm coming back. And she is just amazing. She wants to learn every department. She has just come in with this vigor. Like Amy said, sometimes it's sad to see that when they maybe want to try something else or leave, but some do come back.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think there's no question, I think, is particularly when you're younger, you might have to test some other waters before you realize, hey, the first pool I was in was the right pool.
Well, our culture plays a big part of that too, because we're very supportive. We call ourselves the family, which is the play on words of fan. But we really mean that, and just really supporting our team members with what they're going through. We support the business, so it's a win-win on that side, but just being kind of transparent and showing them, because sometimes they'll go to another culture and realize that's not what I was looking for. That's not what I need. And not what I desire. So, and I would say with a company really starting to look at this, start small, and if you go to a high school and you have a conversation with a guidance counselor, career counselor, and you just don't feel it's the right fit, try another one. It's okay. There's been many ups and downs that we've had with this process over, the last probably 10, 12 years. So, we kind of dabbled and then we've gotten bigger and bigger. And Andrea and I also have been able to really kind of step out a little bit than what we used to, because used to we would tag team this whole thing, and we have other team members that have come in and really added to the process and made it better and better and better. And so, so just start small would be my suggestion if you're looking to do this, and see if the high school is going to complement that. But I will tell you, the reward is those students. I mean, when you see a student light up because they have an opportunity that they thought yesterday they were not going to be able to have, it's super cool.
Yeah.
It's also so rewarding to watch them grow.
Mm-hmm.
They start off, it just, as we were talking, maybe they're in one position, but they want to be more behind the scenes or vice versa in front of people. And And us being able to have those conversations and support those goals, it's so fulfilling to just watch them grow and learn and really take ownership of a new role. And I love that. It's very satisfying. I love this new passion that we found within our passion, if you will.
And who would have ever thought? I mean, it's just amazing. I've heard so often, where is the next generation of title professionals going to come from? And I mean, it's just a brilliant concept and idea. You got to go to them, talk to them while they're still hungry and curious. So
Yeah.
just awesome. I congratulate both of you on this. It's just an amazing undertaking. But so, as you may or may not know, on the Bottom Line Me podcast, we always like to wrap up with one final thought. So I want to give you both an opportunity to give us your bottom line message. What is it that you'd like our listeners here to walk away with about your stories here today?
My bottom line would be, Amy talked about starting small. Pick a school, call, offer to do something for career day, offer to host a student for, a tour, whatever that looks like. But the bottom line is, if every title company in this, that's listening to this podcast committed to calling just one school this year, we could introduce thousands of students to a career they otherwise would have never heard about. So I think that would be the bottom line. Commit to calling one school. If we all do it, there we go. We've raised awareness with thousands of students.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I would say my bottom line is if you have Gen Zers in your company, talk to them. Ask them what would attract them. If you don't, talk to your children, talk to your nieces and nephews, talk to your best friend's children, talk to people in that generation and ask them what would attract them based on what we're doing. And I will tell you, I think that we definitely are on a mission that we are looking to accomplish.
Great. Well, this has been just a really, really interesting conversation to have. And so I want to thank you both for taking some time to share this with me and with our entire audience. It's awesome. And if somebody wants more information, we'd love to be able to tell them that they can reach out to both of you at any point.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Love that. We would love that. Yes. You pass our information along. They're more than welcome to reach out to either one of us.
Terrific. Well, thanks again. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. If you'd like more information on what Andrea and Amy have been doing, you can also reach out to us at Agency University at oldrepublictitle.com. We'll pass it on to them. And until we meet again, I hope everybody continues to learn, grow, and prosper. Thank you.